Hey everyone, welcome back to Beekeeping with Natalie, or welcome to if you are new. Today's video is actually in the grow yard, the series that we did in this yard, but it's kind of just like a normal video for us. So I will link that series that we did. I think it's up in this corner if you want to check that out. We kind of put it on a hold for now. I don't know if we'll come back to it or not. There's just not a whole lot to do anymore. We grew as much as we could. We really can't grow anymore because it's just too late in the year, but anyways, we figured we'd still film some videos in here because it's still a good, healthy yard. But today's video is going to be on Reflectix. So I've done a couple of videos on these before, and I had a lot of people ask about moisture and if we had any issues with that. Now, 2 years ago, I think it was, we did have a few moisture issues. We had some mold in there. But then last year, and then this year coming out of winter, we didn't have any issues with it. So we'll see how this year's goes. We're just gonna put them on and see what happens. But so all this is you can get a roll of this from really anywhere, most hardware stores or something like that, or I don't know where we got these.
Menards.
That's what I figured. So you can get them really anywhere and just get a roll of them. I don't know how much. Oh, shoot. They can't go anywhere.
Nope.
Do we say anything? There's a little something happening over in the corner, but we're filming a video on it in a minute, so it's just a swarm. But she's clipped, so I don't know where they're gonna go, but they'll figure it out. Anyways, back to the video. I don't know how many you actually get out of a roll, but once you measure one and cut it, you can just measure it from your box and then measure it, cut it, and then you can just use that one to continue to cut them. You can get it to where they're the same width. Is that right?
It's already the same width
Yeah,
as the...
you just have to cut the length on it,
Yeah.
pretty much. Anyways,
I think we get 20 out of a roll.
something like that. I don't really know. But we also save them, so all the ones that we had from last year, we have to use again this year. So it's really just kind of buying them once, and then you'll have them for, I'm sure, a couple of years. One thing you do have to do is put a brick on, because it'll get, if we put it on too late in the year and they don't have enough time to put propolis on it and kind of seal it down, then it won't really seal down and those lids will go flying off. So you have to put some type of brick on most of the time, or just kind of something. But anyways, today we're going to put Reflectix on, and then we're also going to feed some pollen subs. So I'll kind of, oops, I just broke that bucket. Goodness. Oh
Wow.
my gosh. It's just kind of dried up. Looks like they've still got their Apivard, yeah. I was just thinking about it too. Don't mess it up, and I did. Apivard little card on there, so I'll pull that off. They haven't been opened in a little bit, so their propolis and everything's all dried up and hard to pull off. Now, this week will be a lot of, goodness. The next 2 weeks will be a lot of going through hives. It's still really nice out. It's really good weather. I think this week it's actually going to get down to like mostly 70s for the week, which will be really nice. But anyways,
Kind of hot today.
it is a little warm. It's still early, but anyways, we'll be going through the hives and just checking, seeing what everybody needs, and there'll be a lot of combining, a lot of double screen boards, a lot of condensing, all that fun stuff. So we will do a video on that, I'm sure. And then this one, they're up in the top and they have some feed up here, so we're just gonna feed them a little bit. We don't have enough feed for right now, so we can't feed them in this moment, but we will at some point in the next couple of days. So we'll feed them, and then we're also gonna put this pollen sub on, and hopefully that'll boost them a little bit. If they're not, we'll go ahead and condense them down just to be safe, because if they only are using like 3 or 4 frames up top, there's a good chance the outer frames on the bottom box they're not also using, so you can kind of move everything around and figure that out. So anyways, I was gonna put a feeder shim on this, but actually I was gonna mention that whenever we put some type of fondant or pollen sub, whatever it is, we try to put a feeder shim on. If you don't have any, you can actually take old boxes that maybe the top box is all broken or there's holes in it. If you cut it and just leave that bottom part, then you got a feeder shim. I'm sure you can get quite a few actually out of a box, because most feeder shims are typically this size. They're not usually super thick, but just enough that you can put a bunch of fondant. Or I had somebody ask about how we feed her in the wintertime, and we actually will feed like dry sugar, just straight sugar, and we'll use feeder shims for that too. Anyways, but if it's on a double, most of the time I'll actually just put it in between the boxes, which will work out today because we don't have a whole lot of feeder shims. Now, I'm gonna actually go ahead and just do a half for now, see how they take it, and then we'll be checking again. If it takes it really well, then we'll go ahead and give them some more. Now with these, I don't even know where we got these. I think we got these at Expo.
Yeah.
And they have little holes on one side and the other side is just solid. I take the solid side off just to get them to kind of get on it immediately. Hopefully it kind of boosts them a little bit to start working on it, but I don't know if it matters a whole lot. I just know a lot of people do that. And then all I do is really just tip it and just slide it under there. We'll see if I can get this box off though, because I could barely get that lid off. I might have to do it from the back actually. This box is kind of starting to fall apart on the back here though. It's just gonna like pop.
They're gonna love it.
They're gonna, yeah. Okay, there we go. I think I got it. There we go, okay. Then I just give them a little bit of smoke. And then I just lay it flat down onto the frames. Just put it down. Sometimes if it's super thick, you gotta kind of smush it. But as they eat it, it'll go down too. But I've noticed that really the way that you close up your box truly does matter, because we had one that got robbed out because it didn't get closed right. So just making sure all those little holes are taken care of.
You can put the Reflectix on?
Oh yeah, that was the whole point of the video. Okay, and then another thing about the Reflectix is, let me grab one. Whenever you put this down and then put your lid on, they don't have a way of getting out if they're on top of here, so they usually end up dying. So you gotta kind of watch for that. So if you have any that are on the lid, like this one is just got quite a few on there, you wanna hit them down, get them in that box.
They love that too.
Yeah, they do. All right, I think I got all of them. This would be a good time to scrape the lid, but I'm not gonna do that. I think this would actually stay down, especially if it heats up just a little bit, because then that purplish will melt and then it'll be fine. But we're still gonna put some bricks on just to be safe. There's a lot of little things as beekeepers that you want to kind of keep your eye out for, and one of those things are just these bricks. I don't remember where we found these, but we use them all the time, so I just lay this on there. And this bucket has been on here for a long time. They just need a mason jar lid to cover, but we just haven't put it on yet.
I think I have one up here. We just need to put it on there.
Anyways, that's really it. So we're gonna go ahead and put these. This was another feeder shim that I did kind of show, but this one's just a lot thicker that you could typically like cut your boxes down to if you wanted to use that also.
Was there something else about Reflectix, why we're using them again that you wanted to mention?
Oh yeah, we use Reflectix because I know a lot of people will see like people that are in Alaska or whatever using Reflectix because of the snow and all of that, but even though we're just here in Missouri, we still get really cold winters. So we've noticed that if we do put the Reflectix on and do just those little things, it doesn't take a whole lot of time to put those on. Like that took me, I don't know how long just to put the Reflectix on. But I do think it actually saves them quite a bit, because we came out of this year and they just look a little bit fuller, a little bit stronger. Another thing we've noticed is they tend to kind of get up and going a little bit sooner also. That could be all the different things that we're also doing, whether we're feeding them or whatever, but we have noticed a difference when we do Reflectix. So I mean, we wouldn't continue to do it if we haven't noticed a difference too. So that's why we do it. We're going to continue to put them on all the hives. I'll even put it on these double nukes. You can put it on these because it actually kind of, I don't know how to explain that, but there's this divider down the middle and the Reflectix is level with that divider, so you can put it on these double nukes too. So we'll also put those on, and that's kind of it. So that's the whole reason we put them on. It just gives them a little bit more insulation, kind of like these. These are just amazing. These work really good. We probably will not put a Reflectix on these ones because they don't need it, but we don't have the money to spend on a bunch of Apame boxes, even though they're really good boxes. So using Reflectix is just kind of an alternative for that, and it's a little bit quicker too for us. So anyways,
we did add a lid under that Apame box so that it won't.
Yeah, we did add, yeah. We've learned from our mistakes a lot in this yard. Anyways, I think that's kind of it. So we're gonna go ahead and put these Reflectix on all of them. It is, I don't know what the date is.
The 4th, October 4th.
October 4th. So that kind of gives you an idea of when we're putting these on. Even though it's still a little warm out, they shouldn't overheat in these, but I think that's it. So we'll put our pollen patties on, put these on, feed them a little bit here in the next couple of days, and then go through all of them, and hopefully they will be set for winter. That's kind of all the bee work we have left for the year. We'll do some little stuff here and there, but no more splitting, no more grafting, all that stuff is over. So
sad.
It is sad. I feel like this year went by really fast, actually. All right, we're gonna go figure out what this swarm is doing over here, and then go from there, because I have no idea where they went, but anyways. So thanks for watching. Follow along more bee adventures, and be here next time on Beekeeping with Natalie.